In today's video, we will be looking at 5 21st-century American serial killers who got away with it. Number 5. Little Rock Slasher. Between August 2020 and April 2021, a series of stabbing attacks shook Little Rock, Arkansas, resulting in 3 fatalities and 1 survivor. The assaults took place randomly in the early hours, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. within the same neighborhood. Despite CCTV footage capturing glimpses of the perpetrator, their identity remains elusive. Progress in the case came when the 4th victim survived and provided a description of the attacker, a tall, slender African-American man believed to be in his early 20s. The assailant approached her without warning while she was walking, launching the assault without uttering a word. In response, Little Rock police increased patrols, particularly in the affected area, and vigilante groups vowed to assist in the manhunt. However, to date, no arrests have been made. Fortunately, there have been no reported stabbings linked to the assailant since April 2021, raising hopes that the attacks have ceased. Detectives continue their efforts to locate the perpetrator, hoping to prevent any potential resumption of violence. Number 4. South Memphis Prostitute Killer. Between January and February 2011, a serial killer terrorized a South Memphis neighborhood, targeting female sex workers over the course of a month. The shootings, which claimed the lives of 4 victims, all occurred within or near Matip Carmel Cemetery in the Tennessee city. Discoveries of the bodies by cemetery visitors during daylight hours prompted police intervention, revealing a grim pattern of sex workers shot dead with scant evidence left behind. In February 2011, a breakthrough came when the lone survivor managed to escape the assailant's grasp, despite sustaining gunshot wounds. She described the shooter as a young African-American man in his early 20s, sporting distinctive cornrows, and driving a dark vehicle resembling either a Dodge Charger or a Chrysler. Memphis police suspected a connection among the cases, especially upon finding common DNA evidence at each crime scene. However, complications arose as all victims were sex workers, complicating the possibility of an innocent John being involved prior to their deaths. Moreover, the recovered DNA yielded no matches in existing criminal databases, leaving authorities hopeful that future encounters with the law would lead to a breakthrough. For now, the murders and attempted murder remain unsolved, leaving the community on edge. Number 3. Boca Raton Town Center Murders. Throughout 2007, a series of brazen kidnappings and murders unfolded at the Boca Raton Town Center Mall in South Florida, capturing national attention for their audacity and occurrence during daylight hours. Despite the spotlight, law enforcement failed to apprehend the perpetrators, leaving the cases shrouded in mystery. The string of tragedies began in March when a 52-year-old woman was forcibly abducted from the mall's parking lot, along with her vehicle, and later found murdered. The situation escalated in December with an even more horrific incident. A 47-year-old woman and her 7-year-old daughter were both kidnapped from the mall, bound with rope, and fatally shot in the head inside the woman's SUV. Following the second deadly abduction, police disclosed a 3rd incident that occurred in August, which bore striking similarities to the others. In this instance, a mother and her 2-year-old son were kidnapped and restrained in their car. Fortunately, they escaped physically unharmed. Despite ongoing investigations, no arrests have been made in connection with the 3 mall murders. Today, law enforcement remains perplexed about the identity of the perpetrators, their motives, and how they managed to evade capture. Number 2. Eastbound Strangler. The Eastbound Strangler operated as a serial killer in and around Atlantic City, New Jersey during October and November 2006. Despite authorities offering a substantial reward for information, the killer's identity remains unknown. Adding to the mystery is the abrupt cessation of the murders shortly after they began, following the tragic deaths of 4 sex workers within just a month. All 4 victims were discovered on November 20th, 2006, in a drainage ditch behind the Golden Key Motel in Egg Harbor Township near Atlantic City. Their bodies, submerged in shallow water, were found face down approximately 60 feet, 18.3 meters, apart from each other in a line. While clothed, their shoes and socks had been removed. The moniker, Eastbound Strangler, derives from 2 key factors: the determination that all victims were likely strangled despite advanced decomposition, and the positioning of the bodies facing eastward. Beyond these details, law enforcement faced a dearth of leads. The victims' profession as sex workers complicated efforts to establish timelines and identify potential suspects. Despite extensive questioning of individuals and speculation linking the murders to the Gilgo Beach serial killings on Long Island, investigations have failed to yield definitive connections between the cases. Number 1. The Jeff Davis 8. Between 2005 and 2009, Jennings, Louisiana, a small oil town nestled in Jefferson Davis Parish, became the haunting backdrop for a string of tragedies, as the bodies of 8 women were discovered in various swamps and canals. Despite its rural and largely overlooked nature, the town garnered attention from both local and state law enforcement agencies due to the alarming number of deaths. Given Jennings' tight-knit community, most of the victims were acquainted with each other, complicating the investigation. Furthermore, the advanced decomposition of the bodies made determining causes of death nearly impossible, adding to the challenge. As investigators struggled to make headway, the media intervened, with investigative journalists uncovering glaring errors and missing evidence in police procedures. The uncertainty surrounding whether a single serial killer or multiple perpetrators were responsible for the deaths only heightened the sense of fear and unease in the community. Adding to the intrigue are allegations implicating law enforcement officers in the killings, with reports of corruption, involvement in illicit activities, and ties to drug rings emerging and persisting over time. Despite ongoing scrutiny and investigations, the elusive killer or killers remain at large, leaving Jennings gripped by fear and uncertainty.